Alright, welcome to another league race. This time we're with TMC Division 1. This time we're in Hungary and it's a wet race for the duration of the race. And I was actually quite disappointed by this straight off the bat because my pace was actually not too bad. It's actually one of my better tracks compared to like Silvers in China, etc. Like all these tracks. This is actually one of my better tracks. I feel like I actually can get a good representative time in here. And the rain has ruined everything because now I was feeling good with the setup and now I've got to go adjust the setup. So that's what we're going to watch here just to begin, because it was tough, man. It was really tough to decide what to do with the setup because, well, it had to change for a start. So anyways, we're tweaking an Australia wet setup because we can use most wet setups the same way. So you can see how indecisive I was about some of these settings for the wet. Well, it also threw 8 bars out of the question for a start. That was the first thing it did. So that was great. Yeah, I was really just conflicted what to do. It really did. This rain was not welcome. It really wasn't. I should have, in hindsight, put the rear roll bar up a little bit more, and probably suspension down just a little bit. I do end up adjusting the ride height, but it was tough, man, because I was feeling really good on the softs, and I knew I could get good timing and make them last onto the mediums. And just rain. This rain just was the worst thing. Tire pressures, I didn't know what to do for them because they're better down in the wet, but in the dry, especially now with all this this tire patch shenanigans and the temperatures and all this, I ended up going a little bit on the pressures in the end. 11 wings was fine. We're running that anyways on the rear. So the diff was the same. So some aspects were the same, some weren't. Understanding how to set up a car is huge when it comes to these kind of things. There's a few things I don't quite understand fully what the ride height does, and what it truly affects, and what's the benefit of having low ride height compared to a high. It is to do with straight line speed to a degree, I believe. But anyways, we do settle kind of in between there with 8-9 ride height. I probably should not have done that, but anyways, just have to roll with it. But it means that we can just go on the ultras for qualifying, so and just kind of go balls to the wall. I think I ended up doing this. Do I do a soft run first? I may actually end up doing a soft run first. Not sure why, but anyways, end of qualifying. Checker flag is out. Last lap around the final corner. Considering the setup I did the best what I could, and I'm popping in a 15.9 on ultras on wet setup basically. So possibly into P9. Do I end up finishing P10? I do. So with Sway, my teammate just behind me, is Matt just in front. Yeah, so I think looking at that, you can see kind of the guys who were running, I think, dry setups. And I think you can almost get away running a dry setup in the wet these days. I think it is quite close. Certainly a lot closer this year than it is, say, 2017, when you had to prioritize a bit more towards the wet. But anyways, intermediates. Here we go then. 35 laps around Hungary, 5 red lights, and away we go. Okay, start, wheel spin, just a bit. My teammate's going to end up getting a better start. He's on my left hand side. I want him to be on the outside really, but he's going to be there, so just taking it nice and easy into turn 1. Very, very gently. Have to back out a little bit there to avoid hitting the back of Kerosene Kev. And there's Calspur near the inside as well, and Sway gets a poor run. I'm going to be side by side with Sway heading down towards turn 2, breaking nice and early. He's going to have the outside and kind of boxed in by Matt just a bit. Again, me and Sway are going to be running side by side, but I have to back out of this one and tuck in. Otherwise, that could have been disastrous. So Calspur's just behind me, so I've lost the position into Sway to begin this one as we head towards then the turn out of turn 4, and then heading up towards turn 5. I have to be careful. Those auto spin curbs on the right hand side, they will absolutely screw you over. And then Sway's going to cook his braking and damage his wing, and I'm going to nip on through there, so I'm going to take back P10. But unfortunately my teammate has sustained some damage, so just trying to nip on through then, trying to take it easy. I know Calspur is much quicker behind me. I don't know if he's on a wheel or a pad, but just trying to continue on. Matt then is going to have a little ding dong with Kyle. This ends up being a key part of this race right here. So Kyle and Matt going side by side. Matt down the inside, a little bit of contact, and again as they go through the final second last turn, And right there, Matt is going to get by. Kyle has a little bit of moment on the back end. This is my moment to pounce then. I knew I had to get this move done. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go down the inside. The space was there. Had to get this move done. I thought this was really important. The gap was there. I was like, okay, overtake opportunities are not at the premium at Hungary, so I decided I'd go for that move. It was a calculated risk and a welcome one. I'm going to try and defend this then for all I can. Track position at Hungary is key, and I end up he's going to pull alongside close. My exit out of turn one, a little bit of contact there. I almost thought I was going to get desynced, so just trying to hold on here. He's going to hang around the outside. He's back ahead again, but I'm going to hold it down the inside, hold around the outside, fearless on the throttle, a little bit of a lift, but real commitment there in the wet to hold that one. I do hold on to that one. That's a big move on Kyle there for P9, and you're going to see why that's important pretty soon. So yeah, P9, a bit messy up ahead there, but there you go. You can see lap 4, a little bit of gap between me and Matt, not much though. You can see a few cars squabbling from this technique game. There's Darren Sinclair and there's Matt, then there's me, Calspur, Kyle, and others, I believe. So lap 4 and then hence lap 5, you can see you get a good run out of the last turn. This is going to help. This is going to be a big part of this first phase of this race. Was my run out of the last turn as Matt tries to go for a move on Darren. Don't know if he gets that done or not, but this is a very important part of this race. Look, Calspur is much quicker than me. There's no doubt about that. Like, man goes from behind the grid in Germany at last to win the race, you know. So he's much quicker. But I think I've ran 5 on the front wing, 5.11 front wing for the race, and my exit each time I exit out of the corner. Look at that. You see how much space I create between myself and Calspur, and that means he cannot overtake me in the one place on the track he can overtake. So it was absolutely huge to keep holding him there, holding him at bay. Lap 8, then he gets a little bit closer. He's going to try to switch back again, but again a good run out of that corner as well, and he's going to be alongside, but I'm going to have the inside line, and he's going to, again, it's tough in the wet to drive around the outside there, and again he has to back out of it. So many things quite difficult for him. I ended up getting 2 warnings, not in that instance, but in this race I ended up getting 2 warnings on that turn, and that was really frustrating because I only got one, I think, for the running wide at turn 4. But here we go, on lap 10 again. He's close, but again, a good run, and I have again using ERS in the right spots as well. I started with 3 laps of fuel, but he's a little bit closer this time, so he's going to drift over to the right hand side and back to the left. He's still got space, so that's okay. And again, nice apex there at turn 1. He's got just enough space on that outside, but he can't really do anything with it. And then again, it just tucked back in, cover off the line to kind of prevent him having a look then. And cleanly, of course, prevents him having to look then into turn 2 there. Lap 15 then again, get a little bit of separation. You can see kind of the gap is 2.6 seconds Darren Sinclair in front, so the gap is not too bad to the guys in front there. Darren, there's technique, there's Matt, so it's not too bad. Again, Calspur is going to get close, but not close enough. I'm going to hold it. I think this is this where things get a little, this is where he's getting a little bit closer. I do leave him the space on this time round, and a little wobble on the back end. He's going to have a look heading up the hill towards turn 4. I'm like, don't do it. I'm going to hold it. This is my corner, my line. Defend it nicely. All good there. See Dobby's disconnected car. A couple of guys have pitted at this stage for tyres, so that's why we're a little bit further up in the field than say. Actually, no, sorry, it's not. I believe it's actually Dobby disconnected. I think someone else retired, I think. So, anyways, lap 16. My pit window was lap 17, but I wanted to avoid the undercut. I thought that was big. So Kyle has come in, Kerosene Kev has come in. The guys are right behind me. So Calspur carries on. So just about to slow down in time. That was very close in the wet, but yeah, big moment here in this race. Trying to avoid the undercut. I was like, okay, I think I've made the right decision. A little bit of a hold there, not too bad. Matt was held a lot worse than I was, to be fair. So big lap here, big lap here. This one, if I want to try and keep ahead of Calspur. There you go, moving or emerge at P9. I believe Kyle got held quite badly there, so as well as Kev. So big lap, pushing for everything I can to try and stay in front of Calspur. It was very important in this race. If he gets in front, he's gone. Lap 17, then the next lap is lap 18. He's into the pits. and sadly he's got the overcut on me. He's done me. I tried, I tried my best, but he's got me, and it's unfortunate. But look, he was much quicker, and this is just a reflection of that he was just much quicker. And once he was free of my dirty air, he was able to make the most of it out of one lap, a short lap too, to be fair. So anyways, lap 22, the rest of the race was actually quite quiet, to be fair. Lap 22, he's 2.4 seconds ahead. You can see he's catching up to the back of that little gang that's Darren Sinclair's mash. There's Technique Gaming. Lap 27, I'm not sure. Again, seconds into the wet. First of all, learning the wheel is coming into the pits for a set of wets. So again, I'm not sure why, but this second part of the race, again, like it has been in many cases, I just lost pace. Like I've ended up falling like 7 seconds behind Calspur, and there's Darren Sinclair. Like, I was 2.6 seconds behind Darren Sinclair, who actually, speaking of, was caught with some sort of incident, and there you go. That's a position for me. That's P7. So I don't know why I just ended up falling so far behind in the end. Like the match was right there as well. I don't know. I just lost a lot of time for some reasons. I'm not sure. The rain did pick up a bit. Maybe the tyre wear was a thing. I'm not sure why, but it was lap 35. It was kind of Kerosene Kev was close behind me, but I knew he had penalties, lots of them. I'd only won, so I was happy enough with that. It's going to be P7, which is a big result. I'm very happy with this. Heading into this race, I wish it was dry. I do wish it was dry, but there you go. That's just how it goes. But definitely take P7. Happy enough. Yeah, you can see I'm happy enough with P7 there. Wet conditions, difficult conditions as at times as well. I would have liked to have gotten Calspur. Would he have got past me eventually had I actually stayed ahead of him after the stop? I don't know. I did seem to lose pace that second part of the race. Matt ended up finishing third there, so I don't know. I ended up 16 seconds behind Matt on track in the end. So I don't know how I lost the time in the second stint like that. But I just wanted to check the lap times, because I was like, how could I have lost this much time? But my lap times were consistent. Like you could see how consistent lap times were. Like low 29s, high 30s. High 29s, low 30s. So my times were consistent. They just weren't quick enough in the end. That's just basically what it boils down to. So, like, look at that. Like very, very consistent lap times. Very, very consistent. It just wasn't quick enough. So I guess I felt better in that regard once I saw that. I was like, okay, it wasn't that I was inconsistent. I was just slower. Like, and that's what you can live with. Like, inconsistency is one of those things where it's like, it's tougher to accept. But when you just don't have the pace, I think that's easier to accept. Like, okay, I did everything I could. I was consistent. I was driving well, just not quick enough. So there you go. That's it for round 11, I think, 11 or 12 of TMC Division 1. Next up is Spa. Happy Eau Rouge. Until next time.